Hi everyone, Jimmy, osteopath. We just had a video where we discussed using a foam roller to loosen off the thighs and the hamstrings together, and also the glutes, to keep everything nice and loose just before we do any major exercise. I mean, in itself, it's actually quite a hard exercise, but it gets your whole body warm. It warms your core up in particular, and of course, a good strong core, it translates into good function throughout the body as a whole. So even if you just have time for the foam roller work, you're not doing yourself a disservice at all. You're better off just focusing on that first and foremost before you do anything else at all. Okay, so the next exercise we often do in Pilates is an exercise called prancing ponies. Okay, now prancing ponies are where you stand up. Okay, I'm going to have to take my shoes off for this because I'll be standing all over my bed again. And I'm just going to see my legs and not my face, which is always a good thing. So you're going to stand yourself up, point your feet forwards in a natural position, tummy in, glutes nice and tight, let your knee bend. Now I'll stand from the side so you can see a bit more clearly. Let the knee bend like that, okay? So it sticks out slightly. And your weight should be on your toes. Translate the weight to the other side and change. So just swapping from one to the other. One to the other. Keeping the tummy in the whole time. Nice straight spine. Now, the temptation here is to put all the emphasis on the calves. So your calves are taken away, which is good, but you actually want to be working the glutes. So squeeze your bum as you move from one position to the other. You'll find that you'll automatically stand straighter, and your tummy will actually start to tighten as well. Think glutes. So squeeze those, and that way the calves are an accessory muscle. And with these, I like to do this for time under tension. Then I'll maybe do 2 minutes of this, and that will get me nice and warmed up. Not that I'm already not warm to start off with. Now we want to take that to the next level, okay? And you may find that you can't bend your knees much more than that. In fact, you may find that you may have just to stick with bodyweight squats, and that's fine. Just a simple bodyweight squat, just up and down like this, is a good exercise to do. And I would strongly encourage you to do simple squatting every day, not too many reps, and just maybe 10 every hour or something, just to keep the blood flow going through the legs. Really good for venous return. But how can we make this a bit more effective, a little bit more functional? Because sure, getting out of the chair is a squat, but we don't just get out of chairs. We get out of chairs, we move, we pick things up. So let's think about forward locomotion. Now, if you have a band, it really helps. Just to put a bit more load on your hips in particular. So get your band, if you have a band, so you don't have to do this with a band at all, but I like to do it because it gives me a bit more tension. And when you've got a band, I'll always put it above the knees so you don't hurt the knee joint. You've got a band between here, you have to push your knees apart, which means the glutes have to work a little bit harder, okay? Particularly glute medius, which is a stabiliser of the hip. So we're going to start off with basic things like side steps. You maintain that squatting stance, so your thighs are firing off. You're going to step to the side very carefully and keep stepping. And keep stepping and then come back the other way. Keeping this tummy nice and tight the whole time. And it's really going to make the glutes fire off. Oh, things falling down. And again, do it for time under tension. Don't necessarily think of reps, because you might rush them. I just want you to do it for about a minute, if you can do that. It's a long time to hold it for. This exercise is going to really burn. If you're really good, you can do 2 minutes. I probably can't. And once you've done those, take a bit of a break, and let's make it a bit more interesting. Let's think about not just going from side, let's start walking forward as well, okay? And turning around. I mean, most people are kind of existing in a room of perhaps about this size anyway. So we are moving around the room and twisting and turning. And of course, it's twisting and turning that often causes damages to our knee joints in the first place. So this is going to be a good way to start to rehabilitate these by getting the emphasis on the hips rather than on the knees. So simply, get that squatting position, keep your core nice and tight, and maintaining the squatting position, walk forward. When you get to the end of the room, very carefully turn round, take a few steps, don't do it all in one because you hurt your knee, and walk back the other way. I mean, your glutes are going to be on fire after this. Again, take a few steps, turn around, and keep walking. Use your arms to assist you, and turn, and walk again. Again, do it for time under tension. Don't do it for repetitions, okay? Because it's always better if you like, think in terms of endurance rather than strength and repetitions. Okay, right. Okay, next exercise. Before I talk about the reason we're doing this is because we want you to avoid things like lunges. Lunges are great exercise in themselves, but sometimes you've got knee problems. Putting all the weight onto one leg, let's say stepping forward or stepping backwards, pushes sheer force to the joints, and the ligaments are damaged. It's not going to like it very much, and it's going to cause a lot of pain and irritation. That's why I'd rather you avoided doing lunges and things like that for the time being. Okay. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you in our next exercise group, where we're going to be talking about working the hamstrings a little bit more in conjunction with the glutes. All right. See you in the next exercise.